Hey everyone, my name is JB and this is day 6 of my 90-day challenge where I build, promote, and sell AI systems for small businesses. Today we are going to look at an AI system that we just built, very raw, and actually get my real raw reactions of how it's been working for my own Gmail box. But this is probably one of the biggest issues that I hear from entrepreneurs and probably a lot of employees or just anybody out there is managing their inbox. You know, I don't know about you, but some of my inboxes have thousands of emails, and actually looking at this one, it has 1,855 emails right now, which is so overwhelming. In the past, I've used things like Gmail filters and automated rules to automate the categorization. But now, how do I actually use AI to help me take that to the next level and start to respond to emails and start to read emails on its own and actually categorize it? Where before you had to say, if it comes from this sender, then mark this as client or mark this as spam or marketing or whatever that is. But now it can actually read an email and say, we believe that this needs to be responded to, or we believe that you don't need to respond to this, but you just need to at least read this, or this is complete spam, or this is a notification. And we're going to go through all of that on today's phone call or on today's Zoom call. This isn't either of those. This is just a YouTube video. So let's jump right into N8N. I'm going to show you what our email management system looks like. Again, this is still at a basic form, but the goal of this is to inspire you to build things like this for yourself to help your day-to-day. And then what we're going to do is, this has been running for my inbox for about a week, and I haven't even really had time to see how it's doing. And so you're going to get my live reactions on me jumping into each one of these labels that we've created and see if I think it worked or did it not work. So stay tuned to closer to the end of the video to actually see if this works. And if this content about AI automations or how to sell AI to other companies is relevant to you and you want to see more of this content, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification on this video. It means the world to us, especially as a newer channel. This is the only way that we can really get ramped up and extend our reach. So thank you for subscribing, and let's get right into this workflow system. Jumping in here, every N8N system starts with a trigger. What a trigger is an event that happens. And then when that event happens, then you deploy the workflow. I have connected my Gmail account, and then it checks it every single minute, and it checks to see when a message has been received. So that's super simple stuff. So basically every single time I get an email, this workflow is going to get triggered. Then this is the brains behind it. And so to show you what this is in N8N, a text classifier is essentially reading the text, and then it has your LLM prompts in there. And then you can connect which AI model you want. So in this case, we've connected OpenAI in here, GPT-4o mini. And when I jump into here, text classifier, you can see all of my different prompts. So first, let's look at this box right here. What this is telling me is that what this text classifier is reading from the trigger is the subject and the email body. So simple enough. It's, essentially all of this data is received, like, imagine if it was in an Excel file and every component is its own cell. Well, now we want to pull out which cells we want this thing to read. Then we have created all of our different labels. So now we're saying, think of this as like a sorting function. So sort these things into promotions or notifications or needs reply if it meets this criteria. Promotions, this is any email looking to sell me things. Notifications, any email from any platform that is simply notifying me. I'll find a quicker way to scroll through this. Notifying me of something. For example, a social media site sending me notifications, or an email verification site that is notifying me that a process is complete. The next one is needs reply. So any email that requires a response from me. Next one is clients. This one, I don't know if it's ever going to get right, but I wanted to give it a shot. So any email that looks like it's from a client. And so right now I do have a client label that I've hard coded into Gmail that I just, every single time we get a new client, I mark them, any email that contains this email, mark this as client. So that way it populates at the top of my inbox. And I'll actually show you how that works too, because I feel like a lot of people don't know how to use some of the basic Gmail filters and the power of actually having multiple inbox layers instead of just one inbox for unread. The next one is please read. So this one is any email that doesn't need a response, but the content looks important enough that it requires me to read. Next one is receipts. These are transaction emails for receipts. Miscellaneous. This is sort of just the catch-all bucket. So anything that doesn't fall within any of the other categories. And then bills. Anything that appears to be a company asking for payment or sending an invoice. So then we have all of this goes into all these different things. Really, all of these are just a trigger to actually label an email. So if it gets filtered into here, then I want you to add a label of promotions. I actually added 2 labels to all these. So I have a folder and a subfolder. So I want it to be added to the folder, the top folder for N8N, and then also added to the subfolder as well, which is promotions. And that's pretty simple. Then it just dead ends right there. Let's jump down to needs reply. So same exact thing right here is adding the needs reply, but then we're actually going to take it to the next level. And now this is where we get a little bit more intelligent and we give it a prompt to respond to this email. You are an intelligent bot at replying to emails. Please sign off on all emails as John's Bast. Also separate paragraphs by line breaks. And then we're giving it basically, here's the exact email, and then prompt. Please format the data in JSON format. So increases. Please format the data in JSON format. So basically the JSON format is just the way that this system communicates back and forth. So as simple as that. So we're just generating a response. Honestly, this is probably where we're going to start to see some of the bugs when we actually do the live test and see what it looks like, is because that's not really that complex. And we could get a lot more complex about our style and tone and really write a super thorough ChatGPT prompt. But we wanted to see what this looks like at the very basic level. And then also it's the same if it marks it as clients. That's the same exact prompt right here. And then what it's doing is this doesn't actually do anything. All this is doing is generating text. So it's just like copy and pasting your email into ChatGPT and then having it respond with something, but it doesn't actually take any action. So now we want to take the action. Now the action is take this text and actually create a draft. So what this is doing is that it's taking what was given to us in the LLM node and then moving it over to a draft. So we don't actually even want this thing to respond right away, or else it'd be responding to a ton of things and probably potentially incorrectly or not as I would respond. I still want that human in the loop moment where I can verify that this is my voice and actually provide that human experience. The rest of this, the only other advanced feature I have in here is if it's bills, then I want to send it to accounting@t3marketing.com, which is our accounting email. I can also send this over to my AP system, which is Melio. A lot of people use like bill.com or QuickBooks, and all of those have emails inside of them that say, hey, if you send me a PDF, then I will log this as an invoice, and then you can go in and manually review those. Even they have AI that typically crawls that PDF and tells you and extracts everything from that and tries to be smart about adding it in as a payable bill. Now that we've just gone through all that, let's go ahead and just look at what it's done. And I'm a little bit scared because I've seen a little bit of what it's done, but I haven't really dove into it. So as you can see, I have all these different labels. And what this does, let me just show you this really quick, because so many people don't know that this feature exists, is we have multiple inboxes inside of our inbox. So this is what I choose to do is clients, unread, important, notifications, and then this inbox is essentially the catch-all. This is everything. And if you go into settings over here, click see all settings, and then go to inbox, and then you can hit multiple inboxes. And then this is how we have ours created is if it's unread and it has this label, then this is the inbox. And then the one little trick here is if it doesn't have this label, but it doesn't have this label, but it does have this label and it's still unread, then mark it as that. So the reason why that gets really complex is because if it could be unread, but it was from a client. So for example, we want to put this as if it doesn't have the client's label, because if it does have the client's label, then it's already in the box right above it. And then it just keeps on going down that line with that same type of logic. And this has been a game changer because now I know that it's okay that I have 1,800 unread emails because my client emails are right here, which as you can see, I have some that I need to respond to. So for the sake of this video, this is what we've created is this N8N folder and then all of these different things. So I've color coded all this, basically important. These are financial. I should probably change that to an orange. Red means basically I don't really need to do it. And then this is great because I don't want that to catch my attention because it means nothing. It just means that it didn't go into any other box. And what I can see here is that that's not really working. Let's see what it put in miscellaneous. So 3 days ago, it gave me a transaction in here. I don't even know why or what that did. Now let's go into notifications. Let's see what these types of things are. So this, I would say, is pretty accurate. What I want this to do is give me these types of notifications from these types of platforms. So these are typically things that you really don't need to know about. Like, hey, I have a message from my CPA in the portal. That one, no, I might actually need to know. But in this case, your card may have not been present. I don't really need to read all these things. The truth is I see them on my phone and then I get the notification and I kind of know what this happened. Or a lot of times you get like calendar invites, like this is going to be what it's going to be filtering out is I don't need to read my reminder that my calendar invite is happening. And then for the most part, you just want to mark those as read right away. So I could even add in a trigger to say, if it's from this, mark it as read, or, now just brainstorming. Maybe I don't want to mark it as read because maybe if I mark it as read, it won't come to my phone right away, or I don't have a chance to see it if I'm sitting in front of my inbox. But maybe if it sits in the notification folder for 48 hours, then mark it as read or something along those lines. So that way I don't get up to 1850 because this may actually just increase my number instead of getting me to inbox 0. So now let's go to the next one, promotions. Let's see what this is. You're ready. This looks like a sales email, 14-day trial. Looks like it did pretty good here. And what my goal would be is to find ones that I feel like are incorrect later on down the line and then go back into N8N and try to make it better and better and better. Receipts. I don't know what that thing is, but all of these look like receipts. A purchase was made. Let's see what this is. This looks like an issue. So basically I see what happened is I actually get the accounting at email. So even though I forward things over to accounting, I actually get them back in my inbox. So it's seeing this and then it's just forwarding it in a loop over and over and over again. So I got to fix that. Maybe I can just detach my email from the accounting email because I really don't need to be on it. This is a receipt from Upwork. This is a receipt from a vendor of ours. So all of those are actually good. I've been pretty impressed by this. So this is going to be another one of those accounting at emails that are an issue. And so that one's a little bit hard to test. Let's see. Yeah, I got to fix that ASAP and stop getting it forwarded over to that. Okay, clients. This is an interesting one because this is the one that I thought I was going to fail on, and I can quickly see that it did fail. Not only did it fail, but for some reason, it's even bringing these things up as, oh, because it's failing, it's giving me a response. So these are coded files that we send on behalf of our clients. So our clients get leads. Our clients are car dealerships. In this case, it's the car dealership. We send a lead over to their CRM in this coded format. And then it's drafting a response. Thank you for bringing this lead to our attention. We appreciate your effort in keeping us updated, and we will follow up accordingly. And you can see every single time it's going to be slightly different. And so that's interesting. So we can see that is not very good. This is a client that's a sales call-ish. And a lot of these are important people. Some of these are actually clients. So maybe it is doing an okay job. But what I should do is, one, I need to see if this has a waterfall effect. Like if it gets labeled as promotions, does it not get labeled as anything else? Because if that's the case, then I could actually catch a lot of things that it's labeling as clients. I could actually catch it earlier on and say that this is one of our clients' leads. It's funny that it is a client lead, so somehow it must know that. Okay, so let's try this one. So these are please read, but does not require response. I would say I definitely don't need to respond to any of these things that I'm seeing so far. Some of these are probably marketing emails. Some of these are actually notifications. So there's an area of opportunity on how to fix that. And then needs reply. Okay, so I assume that this is probably, for the most part, doing an okay job, but let's see what the responses are. So, well, this does not need a reply, but I see how it thought it is. How likely are you to recommend this support agent, basically? Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate that DealerOn is committed to improving its services. In terms of recommending DealerOn to a friend or colleague, I would rate it a solid 8. The platform has great features, but there are a few areas where enhancements can be made. But looking forward to seeing how DealerOn continues to evolve and improve. That's hilarious. That it actually gave it a score based on stuff it doesn't have any knowledge on. There are so many drafts in here, but let's just click on this. So somebody sent me this, sent me all these things. Hey gents, okay, so I started fresh with this list and everything is correct. Okay, thanks for the update on the list. I agree that deploying the email and text via mass blast is a great idea to ensure we reach everyone effectively. Let's go ahead and set that up as soon as possible. Solid response. I give that an 8 out of 10. And what I would probably do is I speak a lot more casually than this. So you can also insert knowledge bases. So that's something I didn't do, but you can actually export all of your Gmails, all of your sent Gmails, and say, I would probably actually just throw that into ChatGPT first and say, please write a very detailed prompt on my tone and style and words that I frequently use. So instead of throwing the knowledge base into NADen, what you're doing is having AI summarize it and to talk to AI. So actually to add to that prompt, so I would go into ChatGPT, ask it about my tone, style, and words that I frequently use, and then tell it to provide the results as if it was giving instruction or a prompt to another AI agent, and then see how it writes it. It'll probably write it a little bit more short form instead of being wordy, because humans are wordy. AI doesn't have to be wordy to get a point across. And so that's that. So that's how hopefully I'll start managing my Gmail. And again, the intention is just to give everybody inspiration during our journey where we're building, promoting, and selling AI. This is something that you can build for yourself. It's also something that you could sell. There are softwares out there that sell this type of stuff for $50 a month. Just you plug in your inbox and it does this. But I promise you, I'm actually used to be subscribed to Fixer.ai. And it is really, really great, but it lacks customization. So imagine if you build something like this and then you sell it through a cold email system and say, hey, I will manage your inbox for only $25 a month and customize it to your needs. Or maybe it's $150 a month, however you want to pitch it, because you could pitch it as a white glove service and like you are actually managing their inbox, but it's AI enabled. So you do what you want with this. If you like content like this, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification on this video. And we look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye.